everyone, welcome back towards match day number 18. We'll be jumping on towards map number 2 soon. Not much to say though, is there, in terms of Splyce? I mean, you were a little bit stern about it, you know, when you went down to the back, a lot of pent-up rage, blown up in frustration. I think I saw a PC flying.
Yeah.
There wasn't a PC flying, but you were particularly frustrated about Splyce not showing up.
It's just sad to see. I mean, you see all this hype about, you know, the tier 2 of sort of North American talent and stuff like that, and that's what they are at this point. And how, you know, so many of these teams who, you know, people believe these players have the potential to really step up and be some of North America's, you know, premier players, you know, challenge the sort of Cloud9s and Liquids and stuff if they were to actually live up to their potential. And it just seems like at some points they're not trying as hard as they maybe should be, or, you know, they're making a little bit of a waste of their Pro League spot and their, you know, the opportunities that they've been given, especially after so many seasons in Pro League and stuff. At some point, you have to sort of get things together and pick it up and try to, you know, make a little bit of a run and make use of your spot. Whereas you see, like, the Brazilian teams, you know, I'd say it's a bit of a similar thing for Luminosity last season. They're just sort of developing, and it's a slow improvement, couple of changes and stuff like that from them. But it seems like at least in every Pro League match, it's not just like they're sort of playing on autopilot. They're always trying to make the individual plays. They're playing to win. They're not playing not to lose, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's exactly like you said, really. Splyce, you know, they might not have been very switched on in the last game, but it's just a tactical loss. They're coming back for the 1-1. It's exactly what we've seen last time, like you said.
As we jump and take a look at the schedule, yes, I did say last time that Splyce got absolutely demolished by a Brazilian team, they came back and won the second round. So they just got demolished by a Brazilian team. Do you think they can come back on train? They did lose 16-0 in trade, mind you. But it was 16-4. Very easy for LG at the end of the day. I mean, big contribution by the entire team, but Showtime, 144 ADR. Huge performance from him. If he keeps it up coming on towards train, especially on the CT side, it would be absolutely instrumental for LG to have a really good start on their own CT side after they do have the side pick. But later on today, we'll have Renegades versus Ghost on our side of the stream. As stated there on the graphic, it is Misfits versus Complexity being rescheduled for a later date due to one of the players having a power outage, and NRG versus CLG later. I think NRG just finished a map against Optic.
Okay.
It was, I think, just a single overtime, because I think different tournaments have best of 5 over, or not best of 5, but you have to secure 5 maps to win the overtime. MR5.
Yep.
So you need to secure 6 to win. So I think it was a victory for Optic at the end of the day. But if NRG come in with that kind of form, then they'll be looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Optic, they are probably one of NA's best teams, just talent-wise at the moment. They've been a bit up and down in terms of performances. We've seen them win qualifiers. We've seen them fall short to teams that they maybe should have capitalised on. And we've seen just the combination of these sort of newer players as they sort of move out of the honeymoon period a little bit more, and they're getting a little bit more gelled into playing, not only playing with each other, but also just the frequency of which they've had to play lately is insane. I mean, maybe just being a little bit burnt out. If they're all on their A game and they're playing refreshed, I have no doubt that they can pretty much dumpster most of the NA teams, apart from maybe Cloud9 or Liquid, some of the top tier of NA talent. But especially when you're starting to get a little bit more burnt out, the consistency might not always be there. However, Splyce versus Luminosity on train. We've seen Splyce versus Complexity was quite a good game, and Splyce actually had quite a lot of structure on their T side. Their CT side was pretty good as well, but I would say that's off the back of Mitch having a good game, playing, you know, aggressively up on that E-box in the SL and stuff like that. But I don't know if that'll be the same. I mean, at least today, he hasn't really looked on his game, has he?
No, absolutely not. I mean, talking about game-wise and talking about all the kind of grinded experience, I haven't been able to play ECA recently, which makes me a little bit sad. I've been busy at work and whatnot, living the esports life. Have you been on ECA recently? Have you got any...
I had a game last night.
How did that go?
Yeah, started off on the train T side and actually played pretty good, and then went onto the CT side and I was the inner's anchor.
Oh,
and
no.
We had 4 on the outside site and nobody could hold it, and they went outside like 10 rounds in a row and we lost.
The nightmare. They just got to keep pushing inners.
Well, yeah, eventually I just started like throwing one-ways on the low ramp and walking up behind ladder, but it doesn't really matter when you're pretty much in a 4 versus 1 playing rotate strike every round. But, you know, obviously can never be your fault. I did everything right. He had the perfect play. etc.
I would have just taken it up and just booked everyone outers. I think that's what you should have done. Should have made the call. You should have just been like, you know who I am? I'm Pilly.
Yeah. I can't
Grab
hit
the
a shot
orb,
with the orb.
yeah, and then whip everything on outers, and then all your teammates yell at you. But
Yep.
I'm looking
Then they
forward
rush
to it.
inners that one
And
round.
then they
That's
rush
the round
inners
where
in the
they get
final
it.
round because it's like, look, they've gone outers. They've completely blasted outers 11 rounds in a row. Let's throw the dice and go inners this round. I mean, that does make sense, but if 4 people can't hold A on train, I'm hoping I don't see that coming in towards today for this match on train, because if you have 4 people on A side, and if it isn't for someone on the T side coming in, you know, red hot fashion form, just taking people out or a really good execute, if they're failing on the A side hold just because they're whiffing their shots, then it may be a very quick match, because Luminosity will be starting on the CT side, Splyce on the T side. But you said earlier, Splyce, we've seen good T side executes coming out from them before in the past, but we've also seen them not have the structure before in the past.
Yeah.
Go back in time versus SK Gaming.
Yeah, look, it's gonna be basically just about which Splyce shows up at this point. Maybe whether one of the Luminosity players has another 140 ADR match might be a little bit of a factor as well. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be really down to what kind of a Splyce shows up, whether that structure is there. I think the key player on the T side that we'll need to keep an eye on is probably Roka on the lurk, and then on the CT side, it's all going to be about whether Mitch shows up and you know, plays a good game in the ladder area, because he was pretty much non-existent in that last map on Cash.
I mean, he had a few good rounds which did convert the round in the favor of Splyce, 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, on the B defense, he was great.
Yeah, that was about it, because he did start off 0. He started off with James Bond and got 5 kills, and then Splyce couldn't really contribute anything more afterwards in terms of the round count.
Yep.
They need to change things around this time. They all need to step up as a unit. You can't rely on Davey to IGL you guys forward and rely on Davey to make the big plays. It's not his role. Everyone needs to step up around him. Like, I'd know that if my AGL started fragging and I wasn't, and I was losing the game, there'd be some table padding going.
Look, I just feel like at some point you need to recognize that your players who are meant to be your star players, or who are meant to be your high impact, you know, high frag, high ADR, good aim sort of players are not being utilized correctly. You're not putting them in the game. They're not being comfortable enough to sort of take control of the game and have a big impact. At what point, Davey, do you stop trying to play so focused on your individual game and just try to get them into the game and get them contributing? Because some people, that's really what they need. And at that point, when you're Davey, if you're so focused on your individual, you know, star players being enabled more, you don't even need to contribute and focus on your game as much as you might have needed to before, because they're pretty much hard carrying it at that point, or that's the idea. Once again, 2 sets of utility out on the side of Splyce. Luminosity, just 1 smoke and a kit. And fast push towards inners. Rokus is going to grab control of SL, and might be a little bit of a ladder push. 2 smokes coming out, 1 straight into the CT connector. PKL getting flashed out, so good utility usage, but Yell gets 1 from Green Train. Trade's going back and forth. Bit of outside control, but this hesitation from Splyce may be the death of them until Davey grabs 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah, showtime though. He had a great pistol round before, and he's starting off once again with 2 kills. Now down towards Semphis. Let's see how many lifts he's done today, because he's got 2 kills already. Can he find the headshot on towards showtime? No, he cannot. The dispersion on the Glock, just a little bit too much. And the P2K, obviously more accurate over a distance, means that Showtime will end up with 3 kills once again.
Yeah, you really don't want to get Showtime feeling confident moving into this map as well.
That's really just a dice roll at the end of the day. That was just all down towards which shot would hit first. It was Showtime that hit. It was down towards a 50-50 at the end. Ball down towards a 1-on-1. Splyce, they did hesitate a little bit, but they brought it back in terms of the kills. That's what Counter-Strike relies on. Even like you can make a 95%, you know, tactical play, but 5% of the time, if someone else aims better than you and just completely shuts you out, what do? You can't do anything.
You force buy into the second round. They didn't get a bomb plant, so decent enough. Thing was, that was like confusing about this is the fact that the buy came in so late from Splyce. It looks like even just a little bit of like, not really sure what kind of call it was. Maybe one person buying up and then not really calling it very much. The rest of them had to run back to spawn for an extra couple of seconds to buy up. Means they're later into their positions, and I'm assuming if that was the buy call and the buy doesn't come out straight away from the rest of the team, that they don't really have a good idea of what the strategy should be into this round. Maybe looking for a bit of a mid-round call and it's really important to get a good call in on the T side when you are on a force buy, because you need to set yourself up into a favourable position. And these two Deagles and the Scout are not going to be great for entering this outer bomb site. It's going to be down to Roka and Drone to get work done with those CZs. Smoke comes out onto the IV, counter Molotov coming out, Mitch entering out a T-con with the Deagle, and you just can't do anything when you're playing against vertical angles of an MP9. You can't run and shoot the Deagle. CZ not too great for it either, and that's why these force buys on the T side have been so much less prevalent lately, because now that you can't really run a gun with the Tech 9, P250's even been nerfed in that category. Like, what do you really do? Do you try to drive by people with the CZ? You can only really do it at a certain range, and yeah, that's it. You get the Mach 10 out. Is that it? No, Kev. No. Alright.
If you only had a camera, it's literally just posing in like the.
I'm sure that we could set
style.
that up at some point.
Yeah,
anyway.
no. Because it literally just be like wee.
It's like that Jason R thing when someone subs on his stream, you just zoom into Kevin's face and he's doing the Mach 10 thing. 5 alive from Luminosity. Yell's pushing up inner, as we do see him do quite often. That's a nice little setup there. That doesn't actually work, but I like that flash coming out from Showtime as Yell falls back. He turns and then re-aggresses with the MP9. No one was actually white, but you know what? Impressive stuff.
Yeah, there was structure there. That was the important thing, right? There was intention behind it.
Look at Mitch. Look at Mitch.
Yeah. But his arm is on the gun. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're going to get mowed down anyway, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, the model's like, yeah, boy. And then the first person is like, the tiniest little kind of hand grip.
Yeah.
On the smallest thing in the world.
Showtime already having a good game, so
That's
worrying
not,
stuff.
Like, just trying to figure it out. I mean, the MP9 does have a stock on it, doesn't it? A very tiny one. It does have a stock.
Yeah.
Very tiny one.
Yeah.
So why hold? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because we're into the buy round. AK's out for Splyce. Not the most utility, so they can't rely on fakes. It's going to have to be a little bit more explosive, and they're deciding to go straight towards the A bomb train.
E-box and sandwich smoke really early out from Splyce. Yell going to pick off Davey as this moves his way out the T-con. Couple more smokes coming out from the rest of the Splyce side, and no more utility left for them, so they're going to dry run out of the T-connector. Cello in a perfect position to punish this, but he doesn't quite get the job done. That UMP not doing the damage necessary, and Drone, Mitch, and Roka all combined. Mitch getting 2 for himself, so stepping up. Showtime running out, getting 3, and hard carrying the team once again. Having a great series, and this is another key 1v1 between Showtime and Semphis, which will decide how this half goes.
Oh, so Semphis, if he looks back around, Showtime, he's so good!
4K.
He's so good!
He's very good.
How do you stop him?
You don't. You lose.
It's like Semphis is like, yeah, I'm feeling in pretty good condition, and Showtime just like, yeah, I feel better, man. I've done more deadlifts than you. 4 kills! Especially when all of his team fell.
How many deadlifts do you need to do to get a kill? Maybe 5? So 20 deadlifts?
I don't know. Maybe Semphis did too much today. But doesn't change the fact that Showtime, explosive play, gets 1, gets 2, sprays Drone, try to commit to the bomb plant, and then he played that one perfectly. Just knew where Semphis was, waited the angle, held his line, and is rewarded. Showtime's already on 10 kills. 3 pistol, 3 on the B side hold, and now 4 on the instrumental buy round hold. Oh, this may not be well advised, but who cares, because Showtime's going absolutely huge again! 4 kills! 4 kills on the back of the flashbang! What is going on? Showtime, you can't do this! He's a maniac! Someone stop him! 14 kills with 6 rounds in only! Oh my goodness.
I wonder what his ADR is looking like at this point. It's just insane. And it's not even that complicated of a play, really. It's just one flashbang, and he gets the full 30 bullets off because everyone's 5-second white on the side of Splyce, and he's 14 for 1. It's just hard carrying Luminosity at this point. Won them both of the most critical rounds, pistol and first gun round. Second gun round, he wins it for them as well. What can you really say at this
Let's
point?
go hard inners, and then Showtime's like, I'll show you hard inners in a moment, and he just slams them with an AK-47.
I think it was an M4, but...
There was an AK.
Was it?
Yeah.
Where's the AK now, then?
He died, remember?
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. I know it was a good play, but you got to keep up, Mitch. Come on.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm just a little bit jaded. I'm not even that impressed by Showtime at this point. It's just, you know, it's fairly standard, really. 14 for 1. Cello and Yell pretty easily defending this wall of smoke out here. Davey and Roka grabbing themselves some kills. So, ooh, Roka getting some pretty sharp shots out there. He's got himself an AWP, but unfortunately Showtime's still alive, so Doesn't really matter what weapon you have, what team you're on. Today was Showtime's day. And yeah, honestly, we can just pretty much wrap up the stream at this point.
We still have a match afterwards. Still have Renegades and Ghosts.
No,
It's still early days. I want to be positive, Splyce. Still early days because Showtime can't clutch like that every single round. Okay,
Really?
let's be realistic. Showtime can't come out and get 3 or 4 kills every single round. And now we're coming in towards the 7th round. Splyce do have this full buy. Going to be using utility early. Yell's going to be blinded out, but no one's committing towards the inner ramp. So maybe we'll have some semblance of normal Counter-Strike for once.
So Splyce's flashbang worked, which means that they don't just lose the round 15 seconds in. So that's a good start. They do have plenty of utility left over to sort of take some map control. Looks like they are playing fairly structured once again. You got Roka over here towards Ivy. He was absolutely sick from this position the last time we saw it, just taking the aim doors. Yell picks up Mitch.
Just
looks
playing.
like
He was going through uppers by himself.
Yeah.
Not sure to make of that.
Bit of a spread out from Splyce.
Yeah, like, I do like encouraging players to try to make a play at B, but when you know that Luminosity have a double AWP setup, I do have a less tendency to go just walk out by yourself without using any utility, because an AWP most likely will be watching the upper B line.
Look, at this point, Kev, I would really like to see the statistic on the amount of times that before a minute Luminosity's got a pick and how many times they end up winning the round after that.
Well, it's definitely not Ghost Gaming methods or complexity methods of getting the pick and then losing.
Yeah, I mean,
or Rogue, even any of the developmental teams getting a pick and then losing the round afterwards.
I mean, Luminosity, they've just, the amount of times in this series, both last map and this map, that they just get a pick in the early parts of the round and then do something off the back of that, both on the T side and the CT side.
Yeah, they're not going to, this is not going to draw out the rotation, but it shouldn't. It does, though. Nekiz will be able to hear them close E-box. Yell gets another AWP kill, and, well, Davey just comes out with his knife. Semfist does manage to get a kill, but he's the last man left standing. He's going to be dinked down in Showtime. Well, he senses blood in the water. He goes, oh, I haven't had that many kills. They're just going to wait. Time's going to run out. They're all going to charge in. No, Yell just takes him out, so... At least Semfist has cash, but Yell 4 kills with the AWP, making it look a little bit easy. Only losing 1 gun in that round as well. Splyce, I think they're just devoid for ideas at the stage. When you're down so much and you try to set for a default where your players are trying to make individual plays, it's not working out. What do you
time
do?
to force by ourselves to death, boys. I just don't get it. I understand you're 7-0 down and you need to get rounds on the board at this point, but why wouldn't you just take the extra round, continue to get the loss bonus, build yourself up to like 6k or something like that, and then you've got like 2 buys in a row, maybe even 3 buys in a row. Why you gotta buy CZs and Deagles every round and then just continue to get, you know, pretty much wrecked.
Yeah, I'm not
they
sure
do
why.
come out Ivy with 5 people.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Nekiz picked that, because now it's going to give a little bit of an opening onto a PKL with the AWP. Gets one, gets traded out by Roker. Now Showtime needs to be shut down. There it is. Instrumental danger player finally shut down. Showtime dies for the first time in this match. And now it's off to Cello. Good stuff coming out from Roker this time. And a little bit of mistake from Luminosity. A little bit of an overextension towards Ivy, with Nekiz just peeking out dry. A couple of AWP shots missed, and that's exactly what it means. Okay, 2 deaths for Showtime.
He misses and they win the round. That's basically the story.
That's literally it. So Luminosity missed their shots and Splyce are able to capitalize. At least they get 1 round on the T side. Full buy as well coming out.
Like, they had to buy up these AKs for 2 or so members. Semfist grabs himself the AWP afterwards. So if they lose this round, then rip Splyce economy. And ooh, that's good discipline play there from Nekiz. Smokes off the angle, doesn't go for the re-peek, and honestly, this is going to really sort of disgruntle Splyce. They're going to have to take a little bit longer cleaning out all the angles. They won't have control of the Ivy. Showtime being left solo as the inner anchor, so Splyce, they pretty much denied the slow sort of crawling map control that they're used to sort of trying to do. And
Mitch, there's a fire there. You can't just sit in there, unfortunately, as he is taking a lot of damage. Semfist has been spotted out, not yet. Oh, great entry from Roker. Now he's starting to feel a little bit more confident. That's good to see, because he's exactly what you need to be stepping up. But look at these M4s on the side of LG, because they've all just done the damage. And, well, Semfist, once again, I've seen this position so many times. Last man left standing with an AWP in an angle, which is not going to be able to assist his teammates. And Nekiz will drop down. I'm not sure if he spotted him. Semfist not even allowed the opportunity to go for the no-scope, as Nekiz will retrieve the AWP, so...
Yeah, look at that money.
And Splyce, knowing how they normally go, they'll force buy in this round. Let's see if they actually eco for 1 round. Eco will be the, I'd argue, the smart play.
This is what we need to see from Roka, though, more and more, Kev. Like, why isn't this guy just running out T-Con and shooting people in the head more often?
Because it doesn't
And
work.
why is
It
he
shouldn't
the
work
Ivy,
every
why
single
is he
round.
the Ivy lurker? Like,
And Drone just
sure,
gets
the other,
nuffed.
yeah. Look, at this point, what can you really say? Now PKL being the Inners player, CL feels like going for walkabout somewhere else.
Yeah, Showtime ready to, you know, farm up the stats once again as PKL needs to be cautious of being rushed, but Showtime can just drop the utility. They're now lining up at uppers. Showtime the AK-47 in hand. There's a perfectly timed incendiary grenade, but there is not a perfectly timed watch towards uppers though, because they all stacked up, ready to bust out. But no flashbangs. It just has to be completely just sprinting full force through. Where's the flashbang? It's just $200, guys. Something, anything to try to get you there.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're going to have to rely on just drive-bys once again, which is not something you want to rely on all the time. You can't rely on just sheer aim. Game's not just about sheer aim, it's, you know, concentrated power of the will as well as tactics and flashbangs. And Davey is just going to make a bit of a nuisance for himself, but PKL is going to make this call out. There is some good shots coming out from Roka once again, but PKL, triple kill coming out from the AWP right now. Yell's going to come in and have some fun as well. Davey gets a bomb plant down. Objective secured at least for money. But Davey just sitting out there. Everyone's spraying across. Davey at this stage has conceded. He yields. He whips out the knife, goes, I yield, I yield. But Luminosity, they're showing no quarters, no mercy. 9-1.
It's not how they're meant to be. That's meant to happen. Thought the counter-terrorists were meant to take prisoners. As 9-1. Splyce going to go under pause. Pretty much going to talk about things. Look, I would possibly bring up the fact that they're losing the first pick to Luminosity pretty much throughout this entire half. They're force buying themselves to death, and there's a bit of a lack of structure in general. These contact plays, look, sometimes you win the coin flip and Luminosity doesn't hit their shots and you win a round, but that doesn't mean that it's working, does it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was towards Ivy. I think they just lost one round. Necky's got a little bit overconfident. A few AWP shots missed, and that was the difference.
But that's how Splyce pick up all of their rounds, it seems like. It's like, oh, we'll just rush this place.
Only in this series so far. It may sound like Splyce pick up all the rounds at the EPL so far, but normally, like, in the EPL, they've actually earned the wins that they've gotten, right? They played structured Counter-Strike. Players are firing up. Instrumental players getting these kills and whatnot. But today, it seems like it's not to be.
All right, come on, Roka. Let's see some more of you. He's had a pretty decent game so far. Yell Molotoving that door.
Look how confident it is. Like, if you come into this position as Yell, where you're just going up this aggressive with the AWP, it just kind of shows it's like, yeah, you're not going to take Pop Dog because you never challenge it. You know, you can come out of T-Connector with 3 people, I'll just kill you all. It's just confidence players coming on Luminosity, and why not?
Just shows their comfort on the map of Train, which is, you know, why do people keep playing it against them? I don't understand. Anyways.
I mean, they can be taken down a Train. A team with better structure and players aiming well, and Luminosity without a Showtime that was firing up earlier on, it would have been a tighter contest.
Sure, but why don't you just play a map that they're less sort of familiar with, or that they play a little bit less? Like, at least you see teams like, who was it on the other stream that we're going to see? Was it NRG picking Overpass? Like, why don't we see more of that in this Pro League? It seems like everybody just goes, oh, Cobble, Train, Mirage. That's it.
Surely Neck isn't allowed to get kills here, but he is. Oh my goodness. That's it.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
It's pretty much this at the moment. Splyce goes, can we have a chance in this game? And then LG go, no, because Showtime wants kills. And then they just go, understandable, have a good day. And now Yell's also caught up with the AWP as well. I mean, it's just... it's a sad, sorry sight. Normally, this is the space in my heart reserved for Ghost Gaming when they're getting slammed. But now Splyce have now found themselves in a comfortable position as well, alongside with all the other teams. It's like the 4 teams that you hope to see do well at the very least. I'm not asking for a victory at this stage. I'm just asking for a bit of life, just a little bit of life, and maybe this A-side gamble works out. But no. You're just running out with basic pistols. I mean, LG at this stage have guns out. They're all competing with each other to get kills and just steal it away from Showtime. They went, no, Showtime, you already had your game last game. It's our game this time.
And Splyce going to buy up again, see if they do anything differently. I mean, I don't have high hopes for the rest of this game, but I mean, at least it's good to see Luminosity taking this one super serious. They want this win. They want to go to the Pro League finals.
Oh, they take this super seriously? They're just aiming better.
But that is taking it super seriously, Kev, because they want to win the game so they can go to that tournament. Remember that one?
Yeah, I know, but it's...
That Odense one? What's
Yeah.
it? Odense?
Odense.
Odense.
I don't know.
You're pretty dense.
It's in Denmark, I know that. I'm on
As PK, I would yell on the double AWP again, because why not? At this point, you got about $3 million in the LG tank. Should be able to buy themselves some nice living areas, couple flights to Odense when they qualify.
A little bit of hyperbole, but they do have money in the coffers, that's for certain, in Showtime. Oi, 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 oi. He's still going to win that. They are going to go out through Ivy, though.
Throwing down the lower ramp smoke and then peeking up.
No, they have a chance of taking the A-bomb site right now. So Davey outside of T-Connector picks up Cello and double up retake. Never the strongest, but Showtime's still alive. He's maybe lost the form a little bit because, you know, no one's really gone towards the B-bomb site that much, but he's looking to just go through CT alongside with his teammates for the retake. Bomb plan hasn't gone down yet, though. Splyce still waiting to see if they can catch anyone from Luminosity playing a little bit too over-aggressive. But the AWP's going to be trained down very, very deep angles. Mitch peeking out. You can't peek out like that, even for information, because it means you get shotted to death. And what a way to go. Getting a single bullet put in you.
Who would have thonked it?
Yeah, who would have thonked it? You know, getting shot by an AWP hurts a lot. In fact, you may lose all your HP. Zenfis close sight. You know, it's all up to Davey near sandwich. Smoke's going to go down. And Davey, a lot of work to do. He gets one. They know where he is right now. It's going to take down the bomb. Diffuser, though. Still a little bit of chance. Davey. Okay, PKL just sticking on it. He's going to come out with the AWP, misses the shot. Deagle coming out. Well played from Davey to secure Splyce the second round of the T side. But
he just headbutts the train. Ragdoll straight into it after the round's over. Woo!
Well, at least Splyce take 2 rounds.
Man,
High fives.
That's a classic Davey round right there. The 1 versus 3 when his team's pretty much dead already. That's just like when you're lying on the ground. You know, the life's fading out of you, and there's just a little finger twitch out of Splyce. Meanwhile, Luminosity walking away.
So it's just someone get a defibrillator stat, so at least we can revive Splyce. I mean, there's still a little bit of cardiac rhythm. I can sense it. If it's the right rhythm, that's the hope, right? It's the right rhythm because you can't defibrillate everything. Similarly, Splyce, you can't.
What about an eggplant?
An eggplant?
Yeah.
You could probably shock it. It'll probably explode, to be honest. I don't know. I don't think that's something that you should attempt. There's only two rhythms that you can kind of, you know, revive someone from. And Davey on the entry once again gets 1. PKL. Yeah, Davey gets 2. You know what? Davey is just going to win this for Splyce right now. He's just going to go and make the aim plays. So maybe we'll have 4 rounds for Splyce. As Davey gets a 3rd. Yes, Davey! Yeah!
Let's go, Davey. Pad those stats, buddy. Ground.
4 kills!
Couple more rounds.
Oh.
Yell. Not feeling it. Not letting Davey pad his stats too much. Splyce can get 1 more round, and that will mean that if Luminosity win the pistol, they won't just instantly lose. So that's something. Although, knowing Splyce, they'll probably force Spy and not really take too much.
They'll win 1 force buy. I have confidence.
1 force buy?
1 force buy they'll win on their own CT
Double
side.
AWP on the T side. Davey's had enough.
Yeah, Davey's gone, okay, I can enter with the AWP, with the AK. How can I enter with the AWP? And he's gone towards T-Connector.
Both of those AWPs were picked up by Splyce, by the way, from Luminosity, so that's something.
Maybe Davey gets his pick and then Davey's like, yeah, I'm the primary AWPer now.
And Kev,
yes.
Luminosity's run out of money now.
Finally. They still have weapons though. Like they lack utility, but they need utility. If you've got the guns, and they are going to be slowly crawling to the B site. Davey's managed to make his way out towards the Alia blue train, and if Nekiz peeks out, oh, he'll incur the prompt loss of his life in the game.
I don't see the point of putting Roker in a position like Ivy. Like in some of the other games, he was just peeking out and banging people's heads off from that position. But like, why wouldn't you get somebody who can? Like, we've even seen in this game, he can bang people's heads off and, you know, get entries to win you the game. But instead, you're leaving him in the position where he just has, like, literally no impact for a whole minute or something like that, and then he walks out. Like, why wouldn't you just put someone like Mitch there? Or maybe Davey or Semphis. I mean, Semphis is the AWPer, and get Roker involved in the rest of the pack, because
that was almost an off timing.
Why has he got a nade out? I just don't... Alright.
I don't think he was expecting it, but now Mitch is going to strike. So B site's open, and Splyce will be able to surely take this round as Semphis just locking down CT connector. It is a final round, so Luminosity have to go for it. No saving, but Splyce already have advanced position. So they should be able to pick up the 4th round unless one of the members on LG go huge. I don't think that's possible, though. Just the positions that Splyce have, it has to be a really severe failing for them to lose this.
And 4 rounds for Splyce. I mean, if anything, it's more just Luminosity sort of letting off the acceleration pedal, I would say. I mean, towards the end of that half, we didn't see any more charging up the inners and stuff like that and pushing out Ivians. They were just playing fairly stock standard. They knew they already had enough rounds to sort of win out the game, so they're just chilling out at that point.
All right, so LG did chill out for a little bit, but let's see if they can gather themselves for the T side. They are up 11-4. We'll be back in 1.5 minutes. Stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome back. 11-4, pretty dominating half from Luminosity, and that sums it up, right?
You're pretty much bringing about the same intensity as Splyce's at this point, so...
Arguably a little bit more on this side for Luminosity, but for Splyce, I mean, it was looking good towards the end. They started getting a few rounds on the board. Davey went, look, I'm going to go from 300 IQ Mastermind IGL towards 3 entry.
Yeah, but that's the thing that a lot of people who watch the games will be like, oh, yeah, Splyce has still got it, man. Like, they can come in and they can get a couple of entries. Look, if these rounds just go a little bit differently, they'll be able to actually get the... No, actually, Luminosity is literally just playing, like, potatoes at that point. They've got 11 rounds on the board. They're not watching the angles properly. They're not aggressing like they were. They're not taking control of the game. Like, at that point, they're just sort of playing on autopilot a little bit and letting their foot off the pedal, which allows stupid stuff like Davey running out by himself and getting, like, multiple entries where usually, you know, Neckies will be banging his head off or something earlier in the half. So, I mean, that's how I feel the game's gone at its point. It's nothing Splyce is doing amazingly. You know, they have had some decent rounds, but... you know, Luminosity should be able to take this one out fairly convincingly.
Well, the summary would be we haven't seen that much from Splyce overall in this series. It's just been a few rounds where it's like, oh, there's potential, but this time the potential's come a little bit late. At least they are on the CT side now, and if they're able to get the pistol around and get a few more rounds on the back of it, they will give themselves maybe the fighting spirit.
That's the thing I like about watching Luminosity, though. They actually take the game by the balls and actually try to take the game, you know, out. They play to win all the time. They're always going for these aggressive, you know, pushes. They're always trying to get the kills. Always trying to set Yell up with the orb to, you know, take control of the game. And I just don't see the same thing from a lot of other teams. Like, look at that. The flash out and just 4-man peeking the CT connector. Like,
that was like
what other team does that, bro?
That was Olympic acrobatics level Or like, you know,
They don't even take a hit point.
synchronized swimming effectively because they all jump out at the same time. It's not swimming, it's an execute, and they're still there. There's 4 people gathered up just ready to wait and see if anyone comes their way, but Yell's already opened up the A-bomb site in the meantime. There's still people waiting there for someone to peek their head out, and there you have it. Mitch at least gets one, and they don't suspect another one to be on the B side, and Mitch may single-handedly take this back because 3 people actually gone down. I don't think Luminosity was still expecting Mitch as well as Roka to sit there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yell picks up a smoke actually and uses it on the CT connector. I'm not sure if who he grabbed that off from Splyce, but they only started out the round with 1 smoke. He gets up to heaven. Bomb plants in a good position. Back a brown train for your old mate PKL. Splyce going to try and recover this round. They do have a kit, but Yell just takes out Roka as he tries to push out the CT connector. Now Mitch has to look at about 360 degrees worth of angles, including vertical and horizontal. And X and Y axis. He's going to take out one, and he has got the kit. Ooh, he's on the reel. Oh, Yell pushing down. Will he be able to convert it? He doesn't. The good old turnaround from Mitch. Just spin until you win, mate.
Yeah, turn around, spin around, loop around, and you expect LG just to force into this. I mean, Yell can just buy head armor, AK-40. Oh,
just really would not be the best decision when you're up 11-5.
I was still confident for them to win. AK-47, get some MAC-10s, boys.
I don't get it, boys.
Oh,
why?
man, CZs and Tech-9s. It's all right, Luminosity up 11-5. At this stage, I'd force up as well because I'd be confident in stomping Splyce to the ground if I was a Luminosity player.
It's just the win
There's a
more,
difference,
mate.
right?
It's win more, though. It's so win more. The rest of Splyce, they don't even have that many SMGs. They've got 2. Which is going to make it easier. And that's the kind of thing that you really should just not ever be doing as Roka, even against pistols, and Luminosity punishes them for it. That's the difference we saw between these 4 Splyce out of Luminosity and out of Splyce. Like, when Davey had the AK, he was very rarely sort of going first when they actually hit the bomb site. He was clearing out some angles with it, but Yell goes first with the AK, gets the kill, and then chucks it to Showtime, the other boy who's, you know, pretty much putting Luminosity on his back at that point.
What's Davey doing? He's going back in.
He needs to aggress now that they've lost a pick. He needs to go up, and PKL is just waiting for it on that lovely angle. And Luminosity, the force works out for them. Don't think it was really necessary. Definitely not advisable. And I don't know why so many teams are really going for it,
but
especially
like
on the
said,
T side, man.
Like I said, if you're up against a team where you know you're 100% going to be defeating, just like this, like Splyce are giving away opportunities right now. I mean, if you're versing an easy team, you'd force up any day of the week.
Hey, that's some very strong words, Kevin. Yell, how has he ended up at Ivy at the end of this round with a CZ? He starts it out entering with the AK. Now he's just walking out old bomb. Going to walk to the back of the bomb. He's probably going to pick off Mitch or your mate, Drone.
Mitch is still in a good Drone is actually in a great position to still strike. Neck is, oh, there it is. You see, they just nearly line up, but Showtime's got the AK in hand. Now they know where Drone is, so they're just going to go back to the B side, but do they have time? Because Showtime has to run pretty quickly, just enough time. He's going to plant very open, though. Drone's going to come back. Might meet PKL with the UMP, who's going to be looking at the angle. So they know he's coming through City Connector, and they'll just play around the bomb. It's good for Heaven. It's good for the Inners train yard as well. It's good for a lot of things, not good for Drone. No kit. A single flashbang for Mars, which is... It's... Yeah. Nah. Drone doesn't have much of a chance right now. As soon as he taps on the defuse, it's going to be a fiesta down there. And you can see right now that they're just going to check and they find that there is no CT. It's just going to be Drone trying to back out of there and can't even back out.
Love your fiestas, don't you, Kevin?
Absolutely delicious. Not in the games, food-wise. As Luminosity make the buy work. And Splyce, what do you think they should do? And what do you think they will be doing is a different story.
Save. Get some gun rounds in.
Oh, they're actually on the eco for once.
They're on double eco at this point.
They didn't force. Are you proud of them?
This would have been the best point to actually force as opposed to the other times, in my opinion. And now it's that they will double eco, which they have to. However, their forces have worked out pretty abysmally even with utility. So maybe do the double eco. Try to go for the double AWP or something at this point. Yeah, look, at this point, I don't even know what to say, really. LG.
That's pretty good.
Too sharp. Hit me with your best shot, says Splyce. And Luminosity's best shot seems to be pretty good. As, yeah, nothing really to talk about in this round. I don't have a whole lot to say. just feel like Luminosity bringing the higher level of intensity, playing to win, and actually interested to see how well sort of this kind of game style works on LAN and works against a better team who can really punish them for these aggressions and stuff like that. Because it's great when you're pushing a team in Pro League who's, you know, just playing an online match with a sort of lower level of intensity, but when it comes to a LAN scenario, people are going to be a little bit more switched on, a bit more keyed onto that. I'd just be interested to see how Luminosity goes against a higher ranked team, to be honest.
Yeah, because online, I mean, in these kind of matches, you don't really bring your 100%. It's a little bit silly too if you're one of the top tier teams. You probably bring maybe about 80%, and then it petered out for Luminosity towards the end, probably down towards I would say 50%. It's a good grenade that does a chunk of damage. Actually puts Yell inside headshot radius, and Mitch had an opportunity to strike. Won't be able to do so. It's Semphis. They know where he is right now. Semphis actually still gets 2. They don't know where Roker is, but it's been covered off by PKL, who's aware of the fact that Pop Dog is a lurk position. Look at that. They even take 2 AK-47s and glue forward to the next round.
Just at this point as Splyce, like, these are the kind of teams that, yeah, Yell and Showtime having another banger.
Showtime has only had 5 kills since the 6th round or something like that. It's been 14 rounds, he's only had 6 kills. I say only. Still ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And, you know, this is the kind of team that going into the Pro League, Splyce would really be like, you know, you'd be looking at the teams on paper and you'd be like, you know what, Splyce, this should be a fairly close game, right, Kev? Like, just man for man.
I expected a fairly close game. I mean, I still expected LG to take this. They'd be favoured to take it 2-1 as opposed towards anything else. But, yeah, not like this. Nekis just decides to shoot through his teammate. Okay, alright. Still gets the headshot. Works out. Mitch coming out from Pop Dog gets 2 kills before he's traded out by Yell from T-Connector. And Splyce, 2M4s in the hands of Roker and Drone as PKL is just holding towards heaven now. There's one in Old Hell in the terms of the CT side and one CT connector, so they're a bit split up. Can't really crossfire effectively, but the bomb's in the open, and Luminosity are just taking a look at the lay of the land for now. Just waiting and seeing what Splyce do for their movement, and the Molotov doesn't go shallow enough to force Drone off the position. Okay, it's spread actually. It's spread towards the very end, and that does mean he's got to shift off. I thought it wouldn't have spread, and Drone looked like he was pretty safe, but it did spread enough, and then Drone was just toast for the day.
Am I safe in this corner? No.
No.
Understandable. Have a nice day. That's all I could do is...
This is the match. It's just literally been... Splyce have just gone, look, we have a good chance of getting a couple more rounds as a developmental team. Luminosity, will you be able to give us a few more rounds? And Luminosity is like, no, we're going to show up today and completely stop you 2-0. We need this for the finals. And Splyce like, understandable, have a nice day. Splyce machine broke.
All we can do is meme at this point. Drone may get caught out here. He does make his way out. And yeah, I mean, it's been the Showtime and Yell show today. And it's good, that's great, especially when you're versing a team like Splyce, but we're going to have to see some of the others stack up. We've seen some good stuff out of Cello and Nekiz game to game. Drone just picking off Showtime, moving through the Ivy there, so good job from him. Showtime getting a little bit sloppy. They're sort of on a slower default, and Davey's going to pick off PKL with a molly in his hand, so like I said, things getting a little bit loosey-goosey here for Luminosity Gaming as they realise they're up so much that they're just sort of making a couple of mistakes that they probably wouldn't in a closer game.
Luminosity probably went, hey, let's go full kind of pub style and see how far we can get away with it. And the answer so far is not too particularly well. They will gather the bomb, though, and decide where to go with these 3 members. And if they do win this, on the back of Cello just getting 1 pick on Davey, I don't know. It is a force buy, though, so it's still favoured for Luminosity in terms of firepower, but the positions that Splyce have at the moment are pretty decent. Especially if Roker decides to push through the inner yard, and Semphis all the way at Old Bomb Train with the Scout is going to miss the first shot. AK-47 spray comes forward. Semphis will go down towards Nekiz though. And Roker, if he does come through Pop Dog, this entire time there has been Cello waiting, but Cello might be caught off guard right now because Drone has made his position aware, and Roker's going to come down right now. Bomb plant does go forward. Yell finds one, but Roker's coming from behind and shut him off. So Splyce do manage to take one more round. I'd say it's just delaying the inevitable at this stage, where Luminosity, as you were saying, we're playing pretty I don't know, none intense. Probably a low on the fire scale.
Yeah. What would you say? Maybe like embers? I guess the fire's already
embers
happened.
Embers are still
so
pretty warm, and you can restart a fire with the embers. So yeah, embers is actually pretty appropriate. We'll go with that.
Thanks, Kevin.
No worries.
Oh man, I feel bad now, Kevin, because I always shut down all your analogies, and then as soon as I throw a decent one at you, you're just like, yeah. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it is a good one. I mean, I was like analyzing it, and they're just going fast out through A this time. Very explosive strategy, which should work out.
Warmth. Warmth analysis. Seems like a pretty warm round.
So Splyce do manage to at least counter-attack with a few picks of their own. The entry frags on the A bomb site.
They countered the strike, perhaps, Kev.
Yes. But Cello, oh. Sharp. Head spin, rolling left, right, and center right now on the A bomb site. That's where all the action is. And Neck is very, very close to getting taken out by Roka, but now it's all down to Semphis. Yell should be picked off by... No? Okay, he's going to go back to the B bomb site. They know the AWP is closer towards Ivy. Neckers will be spotted out. Good push from Semphis to get some information, but he doesn't know that it is going to be towards the B bomb site, though. So he's still going to be around Heaven as a bomb plant's going to go down from Yell. Now the question is, where is Yell going to take his AWP? Semphis going to go straight into CD Connector. That's where Yell's AWP is waiting, and Semphis, where's your head at?
Where's your shoulder peek out? That's just so obvious. You're going up against the counter AWPer, and you know, posting up on the CT connector line, especially that early into the bomb line, is pretty common stuff. No shoulder coming out from Semphis, and instead he goes for a bit of a head peek and gets it blown off. So not an impressive game from Splyce once again. Luminosity coming in with the high intensity that we expected from them, playing to win, and they do close it out. Great games from both Showtime and Yelp.
Very convincing on the side of Luminosity, and as mentioned earlier, not really much to say on the side of Splyce. It is just one of those coin flips. Which Splyce are going to show up? The explosive, where everyone comes in together. It's the Davey and Party show. Or is it going to be the Fiesta? And this time it was kind of the Fiesta show up, and there wasn't much in terms of Splyce. As soon as they tried executing anywhere, I mean, this round was probably the closest towards where they could get to a good start, and they just got completely wrecked by Showtime. Next round, they decided to force straight back into it. Showtime just pushes in and just completely destroys them. And it's like, what do you do at that particular point in time? You get completely destroyed, and then just Luminosity come to a racing start. I mean, they lose a few rounds at the end, but it is, as the famous Elfish Guy 11 would say, much of a muchness.
It was not much of a muchness. Or was it much of a muchness?
It was really. I mean, it was just one-sided. It was the Luminosity show. 16, like that, you can't get any more convincing than that, except for 2 16-0s. They just played loosey-goosey towards the end a little bit, maybe towards the mid-game, but like, still 16-4, and then I believe it was 16-5 or 16-6. Regardless of the scores, it was just a one-sided demolition, where Luminosity just plowed straight through Splyce. And that wasn't the result we expected today. It wasn't meant to be the plow. It was meant to be tighter fought matches.
It was the result we expected if Splyce didn't show up, and they haven't been lately. I mean, I'm not really sure what's happening internally within that team, but doesn't look like good stuff.
Maybe it was just Sunday night. Maybe it was meant to be chill out with the boys session, and this time around it wasn't. Maybe they weren't fired up.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty much it.
That wasn't the competitive Splyce that we normally like to see. That was kind of a... Well, it was a very limp Splyce.
Very limp noodle.
Very limp.
Flaccid.
I would say it's like an undercooked noodle. It's like you wanted noodles, it's undercooked. It's already like noodles. If you don't like noodles, it's kind of like already, and it's undercooked. That's just disgusting.
All right.
No, you haven't had.
No. Food analogy on point once again, Kevin. I shouldn't have said noodle at all. But you
fed me with this.
I fed you the
noodle.
You
fed me with this. I slurped it up, and now look at it. We're digesting it through right now, going forward. Well, it is going to be a bit of an extended break coming up. I'm fairly certain that is the cue. It is going to be a 25-minute break. Obviously, this series went on quite quickly, but it will be Renegades and Ghost coming up. So stay tuned. After